everyone and welcome to Seashell. This is Coralie D here. So today's video we're going to have a little look at how you can put a wetsuit on and make it fit to make sure that you get the best out of the suit for what you're going to be doing. Whether that is using a surfing wetsuit, going out stand-up paddleboarding, being in super cold water, or whether that's using a triathlon specific wetsuit for triathlons, performance swimming, etc. So let's get into it. So as you can see here, I have two very different wetsuits. I have a surfing style wetsuit and a swimming specific wetsuit. Now, they both differ in the grade of neoprene and the thickness of neoprene, along with where the thickness is throughout the body. So although that's a completely different video, which I will do at some point, today we're going to look at how you can put your wetsuit on. So at the end of the day, whether you're using either of these suits, it doesn't really matter. It's the same principle from start to finish. The main difference is that this one is less likely to rip, so you can probably be a little bit more rough with it. However, these ones, because of how thin the neoprene actually is, you're more likely to nick it or put holes in it. So we're going to have a look at how we can avoid that with these suits in particular. But the same principle applies on the method of putting it on. So today I'm going to pop this one on and show you how I do it, to make sure that I'm putting it on my body correctly so that I can swim as efficiently as I can. This wetsuit is super thin. So it means that if you've got long nails like me, you're more likely to put nicks in them. And this is something that we do not want. As soon as the water starts going into your suit, if it then starts filling up a lot, it's not really ideal at all. You want the wetsuit to feel like a second skin, but you don't want it to be super baggy. And this is a common problem when trying on wetsuits, is that people will try and put it on, not quite get it fitting, think that the wetsuit is too small, they'll put another size up or a couple sizes up. When they feel that it's easy to get on, they then jump into the water and realize that all the water is just flooding through the suit and it's too big. So ideally you want the wetsuit to actually feel like it's too small when you've got it on, but when you head into the water, it should then simmer down and fit like a glove. They are stretchy, so just remember that when you're putting it on. They often say that getting the perfect size wetsuit to fit can often take 20 minutes long, so it's not a very fast process. Ideally you can be in a cooler room because it will get hot and sweaty when you put this on. That is the best. You want to try and keep your skin nice and dry so that it's easier to get on. So let's start. When you're getting into a wetsuit, I want you to try and think of it as like you're trying to get into a really tight pair of leggings or jeans. So we are going to start from the bottom. We are going to put one foot in at a time and we're going to roll the suit up bit by bit, just like you're putting on tight leggings. Now, if you've got gloves, pop them on to try and help avoid the nails going through the suit. But if not, we're going to have a look at a crab grab. So rather than pulling from your nails, you're going to be pulling from this kind of like palm bit of your fingertips, and you're going to pull like this. So you're not actually going to rip the neoprene at all. And we step one foot in, and we're going to try and get this part of the foot all the way through. So you can see I'm already doing my grab. So we're kind of keeping the suit there, pushing my leg through. So now you can see that there are little kind of lines here. I'm going to slowly, with my crab claw, start moving them up and over the knee. I like to go from left to right to make sure that it's going all the way over. So now I've got that first part in with my left foot. You're then going to take the other leg and put it in, because if you put this leg all the way up to the top, you're going to really struggle to put the other one in. So we're now going to try and get the other foot in. And again, same thing. We're going to take our hands, hold on to the bottom and pull or push the foot through. Okay? Now, we want to try and get the leg up as far as we can. I quite often will get the bottom of the suit pretty much to where my calf is. You want it to actually come a bit higher rather than being too low, because it's easier to then work with. So again, we're then going to take the body of the suit up bit by bit, one side at a time. So you can see there's a lot of ruffles still in here in the suit, and it's nowhere near up to where my crotch is. So again, we're gonna take our crab hands and we're gonna go from left to right. I'm gonna pull this up even more so you can see it's pretty much up to my calf. Left, right, right. Then we're gonna do the other leg. So it's pretty much just doing bit by bit. All the way up. A bit. Now I do have some holes in this wetsuit. I've had it for a long time now. This hole, I got it when the suit arrived, so yeah. And sometimes it's just inevitable. You're gonna get holes in your suits, but considering I have such long nails, I've done very well with not getting holes in my suit. Again, we're gonna just peel this up as high as we can. It's only just going over my bum. You can see the crotch is still here. So we're then gonna pull up over the knee. So now we're gonna try and pull up over the bum. So we're pretty much there. Again. Now, different brands of wetsuit will fit you differently. I have quite long legs, so the Orca wetsuit tends to come up pretty short on me, but it might not for you. So again, it's about finding different wetsuit models that will fit your body shape. The same thing applies when it comes to putting the wetsuit on. You do bit by bit. So now I have the crotch all the way in at the top here, so there's nothing baggy. Okay, so the legs are on. I'm gonna take this off because I'm now roasting. So now, as you can see, I have the torso pretty much all the way. The bum is fitted nice and tight, and now we have the two arms. So if you don't get the crotch up enough and the torso is down here, it's going to be really difficult to put those arms in. And this is what a lot of people will do, is they'll try and yank the arms in and the wetsuit is being stretched like this. They feel that they're being pulled down and they go, there's no way I'm going to be able to swim because I need to have the flexibility in my arms, right? It's the same with surfing wetsuits as well. You want to be able to have flexibility there. So if you've got a watch, probably take that off just so it doesn't get caught. And then what you're going to do, ideally what I would recommend, is doing one arm at a time, just like we did with the legs. However, if you feel that it's easier for you, you can do the same but have two going at the same time, like so. I'm going to show you with one. So we put this one hand through, and again with our crab fingers, we're going to pull the hand all the way through. Now if you try to then put this up, it's not going to work. So exactly the same as the legs, just like you're putting on a tight pair of leggings, you're going to pull it up little bit by bit. We actually want this part of the wetsuit to come pretty much to where your watch line would be. I know it might seem like it's a bit too high up, but again, it gives you that flexibility of being able to get it up and over the shoulder at the moment. If you need to pull it down afterwards, then that's absolutely fine. At the moment, we're going to pull it up and we're just going to pull it all the way to here. Now you can see that there's excess material. So again, we're just going to pull it up and over the elbow. And as you can see, it's now going to get a bit easier to be able to put that up and over the shoulder. However, we're not going to do that just now because we need to get the other arm in. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to pull all the way through, bit by bit. That's the most important thing about today's video, is be patient and do it bit by bit. There should be enough material now to hopefully be able to get it up and over the shoulders. So you can see here, we're about there. Now, if you're worried that you're not going to be able to do it, you can then start pulling the torso up as well to make sure that you've got a little bit more leeway. So you can see here, there's a lot more material. So then we put one shoulder up, and the other one's pretty much there already because I went really high with this arm. Now I can feel it still pulling. I don't think I would be able to tie that up just yet. So again, I'm going to come back to my arms and we're going to go all the way up. Now a really good test for this, if you put your arms out here and you can see that there's material like this, my armpit is all the way in there and there's all of this excess material. So we don't want that, right? So we're going to make sure that that is right into our armpit. Like I said before, you want it to feel like a second skin, as if you're not even wearing anything at all. So once we've got the shoulder up and over, then we can pull up this torso even more, get the neck up as high as we can, You're then going to turn around and then you're going to pinch the back, make sure that the bum is pulled up nice and tight, and we're going to see whether we can get the Velcro anywhere near. So, we're pretty close. So I'm just going to go ahead now, pinch the back. Quite often this can help if you pinch here, and you're going to then pull all the way up. I think I got caught on my costume there. So you can see that went up pretty easily. Then we're going to go over. I can still see that there's a few ruffles here, so I'm just going to make sure that they are completely flattened out. As you can see now, I have a lot more flexibility. That's all the way up into my armpit. There's no sagging of material right up in there. Okay, there's maybe a little bit. I'm going to pull it all the way up. You want to be able to move freely so that you can swim as much as you want, not feeling that the wetsuit is going to drag you down. Naturally, there will be a little bit of water that gets in, and you actually want that to happen so that you have this kind of layer of, I guess, a thermal layer as the water goes into your wetsuit. So don't be put off if a little bit of water goes through, but you don't want it to be dragging and pulling you down. Now, if you feel that it's too far up your leg at this point, as long as it stays up in the crotch, you can then pull that down. Some wetsuits even come with excess material, and as long as there's a little bit like this, you can cut it if you want to make it shorter. So here we have it. This is how you get into a wetsuit. Now, if you're trying to get out of the wetsuit quickly, whether you're doing a triathlon or you just want to get out quickly because it's really cold, I would highly recommend using wetsuit lube. Put it on the wrists, put it on your neck, put it on your ankles if you want to get out of the suit quickly, but also particularly around the neck if you want to avoid any chafing from your swimming cap or your hair or the wetsuit if you're doing long distance swims. Another thing to be aware of is that some wetsuits come with different zips. Now, this one just has a pull-up zip that you then pull up and pull down when you want to undo it, but some wetsuits you pull all the way up to the top and it will separate the zip, so it's quicker to get out of if you're doing a triathlon. There are so many different styles of wetsuits when it comes to swimming specific wetsuits, so make sure that you go into a store and actually try it on, doing it the way that I've just done it bit by bit. Again, it will probably take quite a lot of time, so give yourself that space and time when you're going to try them on to make sure that you're not buying one that's not the right size. It will take time to get one that fits you. The same thing applies if we're going to be using a surfing style wetsuit. It will be a lot easier to get on in regards to using your fingers and your nails, etc. You're less likely to get holes in it. But again, it's bit by bit, all the way up into all the parts of your crotch and your underarms, and make sure it goes up and over your shoulder so that you can utilize the flexibility, because these are also super flexible as well. If the inevitable happens and you end up getting a hole or a rip or just a tiny nick in the neoprene, I would highly recommend a glue called Witch Glue that you can get online. You can also get patches to go on the other side of it to try and patch up these holes too, but to try and stop that, remember and wear gloves if they're provided for you when you get your wetsuit. Do the crab fingers, and if you like to, you can also put some plastic bags on your feet to get into your wetsuit better and to stop your toenails also ripping the suit. So there you have it. Those are my tips on how to get a wetsuit to fit you for whatever you're doing. If you have any questions at all, then leave them in the comment section below. Get in touch with me on social media, and I hope to see you in the next video, whatever that might be. Have an awesome day. I will catch you later. Bye!